If you are watching this because you've just been put on a performance improvement plan, stop what you are doing and listen carefully. Your company is probably not trying to help you improve. They are building the paperwork to make your exit look justified. That's what makes a PIP so psychologically brutal. Yesterday you were a solid employee. Today you are reading a document that makes you sound like a walking liability. You are replaying meetings in your head, scanning old emails, wondering what you missed, wondering if your instincts are broken. They are not. You are not crazy. You are not suddenly incompetent. And you are definitely not the first person this has happened to. What you are experiencing is not development. It is a corporate procedure. And if you want to survive it, with your sanity, your reputation, and your options intact, you need to stop thinking like a loyal employee and start thinking like the CEO of your own career. Let's strip the corporate language off this thing entirely. HR will tell you a PIP is a coaching tool, a structured opportunity, a support mechanism, a chance to realign. It does. But in most companies, that is not what is happening. In reality, a PIP is a risk management document. Because HR is not the fairness department, HR is not your career therapist, or HR does not exist to deliver truth and justice in the workplace. HR exists to protect the company. So when management decides they want someone out, maybe because that person costs too much, maybe because they challenged a broken process, maybe because the boss feels threatened, maybe because leadership wants a cleaner org chart, they don't want a messy termination. They want a defensible one. That is where the PIP comes in. Suddenly, ordinary mistakes become patterns. Normal friction becomes communication concerns. One missed deadline becomes failure to consistently execute. Notice how fast the language changes. 6 months ago, you were a strong contributor. Now you somehow struggle with ownership. Interesting. Because your actual job has not changed. What changed is that someone decided to create a record. And once that happens, you are no longer being evaluated neutrally. You are being interpreted strategically. Once a PIP starts, your manager is often no longer asking, how do we help this person succeed? They are asking, how do we document this in a way that protects us later? And once you understand that, everything becomes clear. The vague language, the subjective criticism, the impossible standards, the moving goalposts. These are not performance metrics. These are file-building tools. The PIP is not a development opportunity. In many cases, it is the execution phase of a decision that was already made behind closed doors before you saw a single word of that document. Now let's talk about the mistake almost everyone makes. The moment they receive the PIP, they go into defense mode. They want to correct the record, argue every point, bring receipts, dig up old praise, prove the manager is being unfair. That instinct is completely understandable. And strategically, it is almost always a disaster. The second you become emotional, reactive, or overly defensive, you hand them a bonus narrative. Now you are not just underperforming. Now you are resistant to feedback, uncoachable, creating tension, escalating. You think you are defending yourself? They frame it as further evidence. You are trying to win a fairness contest. They are playing a documentation game. Those are not the same game. You can explain that the missed deadline happened because another team sat on deliverables for 2 weeks. You can explain that your manager changed direction 3 times. And every word of that might be completely true. It still may not matter. Because once an organization begins optimizing for your removal, facts become secondary to narrative. And the narrative they need is simple. You were given an opportunity to improve, and you failed to take it. Do not help them write that narrative. And let's be honest about the emotional cost of fighting this the wrong way. If you spend weeks trying to convince people who have already recast you as the problem, it will eat you alive. That is exactly how people lose twice. First, they get targeted. Then they allow the targeting to destroy their self-worth too. Don't do that. Sometimes you are not failing. Sometimes you are simply in the crosshairs. So what do you actually do? Two tactics: malicious compliance and professional neutrality. Professional neutrality means you stop giving them emotional material to work with. No visible panic, no dramatic speeches, no defensive monologues, no angry, just to be clear emails sent at 11 p.m. Your new professional register is calm, brief, and slightly boring. Say this instead: thanks for the feedback. I will review that and follow up with a plan. That is it. Short, clean, professional. Your goal is not to win them over. Your goal is to stop producing usable ammunition. And before every PIP meeting, rehearse. Assume they will be vague. Assume they will reinterpret events. Assume they will try to make you feel off balance. If you expect the hit lands softer. Composure is power in these situations. People who rely on institutional intimidation hate one thing more than pushback. They hate calm. Now, malicious compliance, bro. This is where you follow the process so thoroughly and so precisely that you become difficult to target sloppily. And I say, you document everything, not on your work laptop, not in company systems, on your personal device, in private records, dates, times, who said what was requested, what changed, what you delivered, what feedback you received. After every single PIP meeting, send a clean follow-up email. Thanks for meeting today. My understanding is that this week's priorities are X, Y, and Z. I will focus on those and update you on progress. That email is doing three things simultaneously. It demonstrates cooperation, it creates a time-stamped record, and it quietly locks them into a documented version of events. Now, if they attempt to move the goalposts, the paper trail becomes awkward for them. That is the point. You are not being aggressive. You are making revisionist history more expensive. Toxic managers thrive in ambiguity. Documentation kills ambiguity. And once ambiguity dies, bad faith management gets significantly harder. You may not become safe, but you become a more expensive target. And in corporate systems, cost always matters. Now, for the part nobody wants to say out loud, your real objective is probably not to beat the PIP and live happily ever after at this company. Could that happen? Yeah. Should you build your entire strategy around that outcome? No. Because even if you survive the PIP, you have been marked. You are now a variable, a question mark, a name with an asterisk next to it. So stop asking, how do I save this job? So start asking, how do I use this window of time intelligently? A PIP is a countdown. Treat it like one. Your mission is to protect your income for as long as possible. Buy yourself time and build your exit while they are still paying you. Update your resume immediately. Refresh your LinkedIn. Start reaching out quietly. Begin interviewing now, not after the termination meeting. This is not disloyal. This is adult behavior too. Your company is already planning a future without you. you should be doing exactly the same. Keep your mouth shut at work. Do not tell your coworkers this. Most people in corporate environments are loyal to their own comfort, not your confidentiality. So smile, do your job, use your lunch break, and use your remaining leave. Take the call, though, take the appointment, and build your parachute while the plane is still flying. And here's the upside that nobody talks about. This experience is giving you a brutal but valuable education. You are learning exactly what institutional manipulation looks like in professional clothing. How bad managers weaponize ambiguity. How weak leaders hide behind process. How companies suddenly discover performance concerns, precisely when it becomes convenient for them to do so. In your next role, you will spot the red flags earlier, you will read the political landscape faster, and you will be significantly harder to corner. That is how you extract value from a system that tried to extract value from you. They may be trying to push you out, but they do not get to take your confidence with them. The system is not broken. In many cases, it is working exactly as it was designed, to protect management, reduce legal risk, and prioritize institutional convenience over individual truth. Your job now is not to be shocked by that. Your job is to understand the game, protect yourself with everything you have, and move with strategy instead of panic. Stay calm. Document everything, and build your exit before they choose it for you.